Police have arrested a man they believe to have assaulted 5 people with buckets of excrement.
Well, the man accused of dumping buckets of feces on people at 2 Toronto universities has appeared in court.
Now the man accused of dumping buckets of feces on people at 2 Toronto universities has appeared in court.
Hey gang, it's your boy. And this case is continuing to fascinate me, warp my mind, and completely distract the hell out of me. And I'd just like to start by saying thanks for the attention on the video I did on this earlier last week. It certainly is a strange and interesting case, but I've got good news and I've got bad news on it. The good news is Samuel Poku, whatever his name is been taken into custody. The bad news is that his lawyer was able to successfully petition for a publication ban with the Crown. So there won't be any direct quotes, unfortunately, out of these proceedings, not even on his bail hearing, apparently, which is on Wednesday. But I figured I'd put something out there about what's happened in between. My new favorite crime specialist reporter, Steve Inspector Gadget Bryan, was back on the scene. But before we get back to Steve, let's check in with Cam, who isn't quite as bombastic as Steve, doesn't take quite as many liberties with the story as Steve does, but let's go in sequence.
For the latest on this gross story,
Oh my god, like so gross, you guys.
we go live now to Cam Woolley, who is outside Old City Hall Court, where this suspect is set to make an appearance in just a few hours, Cam.
Yeah, Gurdeep, and the prisoner van could appear any moment, transporting him from 52 Division 1 van just came in. He was not on board, so we'll keep an eye and wait. Samuel Apoko is 23. He's from Toronto, was arrested about 6 p.m. yesterday at a shelter near Queen and Spadina.
They keep saying a shelter. I'm guessing they mean a homeless shelter, but they never clarify it. Could be a frickin' bus shelter for all I know.
People started calling the coppers as soon as those really clear security images came out.
The coppers. They called the coppers.
The first one's pretty good. The second one's really good. We talked to one of the guys that actually phoned the police, a fella named Tim that had actually sort of knew the guy. Here's some of what Tim had to say.
He seems like a normal guy, just like you and me, just normal guy. With just shocking and quite disturbed at like when I saw that on the news, and when I read that, I mean, I recognized who it was right away, and it just blew my mind. Yeah, it was crazy.
You snitched. You ratted him out. Tim, you're a stool pigeon that sang like a Boyd for the coppers. I'm just kidding. You're a good boy, Tim.
University students are pretty pleased that he was arrested. Of course, it's exam time, too, so this was just adding to the stress.
Aw, those poor muffins.
Opoku's going to be arraigned on a total of 10 charges, 5 assault with a weapon and 5 mischief interfering with property. We don't know the motive yet, and if mental health played a role or to what degree. Hopefully that's all going to come out in court, although today might just be a first appearance. It's unlikely the Crown or defense to be ready for a full show cause hearing.
If he is going for the mental impairment defense, I don't think his lawyer's going down that path based on what we'll see later, but let's get over to my boy Steve and see what he's got at this point.
CB24 Steve Ryan is at the courthouse and joins us live with the very latest. A lot of people curious about this case.
Yeah, you're right, Nathan, and then to say that there was a lot of students here is an absolute understatement. Court was supposed to start at 10 o'clock this morning. We moved courthouses, or courtrooms, I should say.
Get it right, Steve.
A couple of times until we finally got a big enough court to accommodate most of the people that wanted to be there. The majority of them were students.
God, don't you guys have like classes to attend or something? Man, those Canadian student loans going to good use.
From not only the U of T, York University, Ryerson, and I also spoke with a couple of kids that came from Guelph as well.
Just for those not familiar with the geography here. As you can see, Guelph is like an hour-and-a-half car ride away from Toronto, so that's pretty amazing that it drew that kind of a crowd.
All said that they wanted to come just to get a look at this guy. Now, he's charged with 5 counts of assault with a weapon. The weapon is the manner that he used to throw onto those 5 unsuspecting people. And the mischief is clearly the clothing and computers or whatever else they had at the time when they were doused with the fecal matter is now ruined. Now, we did have a chance to talk to several of these students, find out why they were here in court, and here's some from a lot of them. Take a listen.
The attack kind of hit really close to home.
Wow, such a diverse crowd.
Robarts Library is a place that a lot of students go very frequently, so it was kind of a really big shocker that something this detrimental happened like on campus.
Well, I was decided to come to court, to better understand the court proceedings, just to maybe see what he has to say about the whole thing why he decided to do it, because it affected a lot of us here at U of T.
Yeah, you wanted to rubberneck it. You didn't have to give that preface to your reason for being there.
And Nathan, this bail hearing was supposed to start today. It didn't. There's a publication ban, so I can't tell you what was said in court.
Yeah, so the publication ban, it's really strange that we've got it in this case. And I think a lot of it had to do with the sheer volume of onlookers that attended.
But December 3rd is the next date here at 101 Court at Old City Hall at 10 o'clock. At that time, the lawyers will talk, and if they've got all their documents in order, the bail hearing may proceed at that point. And if not, it'll just be a procedural appearance, and a bail hearing will be set for a later date.
Now, based on what I've found here at the Attorney General's site for the province of Ontario, it looks like that it may be because there is a youth involved in one of the attacks that there could be a publication ban to protect the identity of that child. But my guess is to make sure that the accused has as fair a trial as possible. I don't necessarily agree with that because the acts that this individual carried out or is alleged to have carried out, even though he was caught on closed circuit cameras in public prior to and after committing the acts, it seems a bit ridiculous, but it is, you know, something just like the UK that we get to deal with here in Canada.
Did the suspect have anything to say in court, Steve?
I just want to stop here and take a moment to appreciate Steve's sense of style. There's something about it. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the pink tie and the gray suits, but Steve, you are so stylish, my dude. Never change.
No, Jackie, the suspect appeared in bail court at 2:15 this afternoon. He's wearing a long denim shirt and a pair of khaki pants. Shoulders were slumped over, head down the whole time, sat in a prisoner's box. His lawyer spoke for him, as they routinely do. This is going to come back on December the 3rd. There was no bail hearing today for a couple of reasons. Number one, it was not a big enough court this morning. There were several university students that were there, and we had to move to a bigger court, and then there had to be some talks and negotiations between the Crown and the defense.
And I'm pretty sure that that's when the publication ban would have been negotiated.
So we are back on December the 3rd. If things are in order at that time, then bail hearing will proceed. The Crown is seeking a detention order, and the defense is asking that the accused be released with very strict conditions.
Well, thank God the Crown isn't being an idiot in this case and demanding bail. I mean, all these acts were very public, very unprovoked, and according to some, look to be targeted at members of the Asian community. But I'm not surprised that the defendant's lawyer is asking he be released on bail. I mean, it sounds like they're going for the whole "it wasn't me" approach.
Now, like any defense lawyer, when somebody is charged with a criminal offense, they advocate on behalf of the client. And this lawyer certainly did that. We spoke with him outside the court, and here's some of what he said.
Obviously, the defense and my client understand that the allegations are shocking and disturbing and concerning. And as I explained earlier, my client is quite shocked and overwhelmed given the nature of the allegations and the public scrutiny that they've attracted.
Yep, going for that "wasn't me" approach by the sounds of it.
He will be back in court on December the 3rd. We'll know then, probably at around noon hour on that date, whether or not we'll proceed with a bail hearing or if it'll be put over for another date.
Indeed, thank you, Steve. You're my new favorite crime reporter. So it's unlikely that we're going to get anything in the way of specifics on after Wednesday because of the publication ban. And if it weren't for this massive turnout of the students, I think that the judge would have given less consideration to a publication ban. It clearly created a circus for this judge, and they probably didn't want the court systems to have to deal with that again. But I'll be keeping an eye on all this. Tell me what you think in the comments, because this case has just got my mind bent at this point, and I'm going to be watching this as closely as I can. What do you guys think? Do you think there's some sort of racial or hate motivation for this crime? Do you think that the publication ban is warranted? I don't think so. I think if you do something like that in a public space, if you're not a minor, there should be no reason to protect your identity. People already think that there's something off with the accused because of the nature of the attacks, but I don't think that that would compromise his ability to receive a fair trial. But I'm not a lawyer, as I've been told several times, but I'm dying to hear what you think. Until we revisit this topic, please check out the links below for my social media and ways to support the channel. And I'll see you in the next episode. I've been your boy, Richard Rizzo. Peace out.